What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this video is about the most talked about scene in The Chi Season 2, Episode 1. Was it a setup to beat down Miss Ethel? That's a big question because of how it all played out, and I'm going to break it down. I want to thank everybody that supports my work at patreon.com. Without your support, I wouldn't continue doing this work. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And if you enjoy this video, hit that like. Let's get into it. Now, we see Jada taking care of Miss Ethel when she get a knock at the door. And lo and behold, it's a lady saying that she's here about the eviction notice. And then on top of that, she's trying to provide a new place for her to live, showing her brochures of places in her price point. Now, I know a little something about real estate for a number of different reasons. Number one, this is not something that happens all the time. If you get an eviction notice, it's going to be a notice on your door, or the sheriffs are going to serve it. If you don't move, they're just going to come and they're going to force you out. That's how it works. Nobody's going to come repeatedly and try to talk to you nicely and send in, Peppermint Patty with a brochure in hand. That's number one. Then also, Chicago is a unique city because they can't put you out that easy. I know in some cities they can put you out in 30 days if you're behind. Whereas in Chicago, it does take months to put you out. And depending on where you live and how long you live there, it could even be up to a year or two. And so it can become more difficult. Now, in the neighborhoods in Chicago, especially on the south side, these are nice homes, but because of gentrification in the opposite direction of, white flight going out to the suburbs years ago, 30, 40 years ago, that a lot of black folks moved into these neighborhoods. And so these are quality homes, but the property value has gone down. But because gentrification is back in the order of black folks being pushed out and white folks moving into these quality homes so they can be closer to the city and downtown where they work, they're starting to push people out because the property values are lower, and then they can come update the homes and apartments and then have a nice place and save money and be closer to work. That's happened downtown where the projects used to be on what they call the low end near 35th and State. So, with that being said, I think that some people may think that this is something to do with Meldrick or whatever the case, trying to get revenge on Ronnie, but Meldrick was a thug, and thug don't need to come in a white shirt and a tie to beat you up or to, exact their revenge on her. They would have just came, kicked in the door at night when she was asleep, did what they needed to do, and left. They wouldn't have needed to come with this little whole plan and scheme. That's a well thought out plan that, isn't necessary. So I think that this has to do with some shady real estate or insurance practices. That's what I think. And me, like I said, being involved with real estate, one form or another, it is some shady business that goes on sometime, especially in Chicago, especially in the black community. And I think that's what this is all about. Maybe the lady came with something nice, the nice approach at first, hoping that she would bite. And since they saw that she was stubborn and wouldn't bite, they may have realized she was there by herself. And that if they did this, that she would probably decide to move, or didn't have any family or support, or if it was, they would really encourage her to move because she couldn't be there on her own. And unfortunately, these type of things do happen. And so it's not that common, but it's not, impossible. And so these guys, why would they come to this old lady's home knowing damn well she has nothing? I mean, she still has a floor model TV with a small TV on top. That right there lets you know she doesn't have much, okay? She's rationing out her pills or whatever the case. Miss Ethel is not a rich woman. She doesn't have much money. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the crime to beat her up. And even when the guy came in the back door, all he did was start trashing the place. He didn't come in the back door with the intent of looking for anything. All he did was straight destroy and basically terrorize her to make her want to move and scare her out of the unit. And I think that's exactly what this was all about. And so, in my opinion, they didn't never look for anything. He punched her, beat her up when she was crawling on the floor and, you know, pretty much incapacitated. They could have did whatever they wanted. If they wanted to search the place, they could have. I know a friend of my father's, unfortunately, their home was robbed years ago in the 80s. And they had an older woman there. I think she was there to help out, or it was his grandmother or the maid helping out or whatever. Sometimes people have house people there to help out. It wasn't that they were rich or anything, but nevertheless, they came and beat her up. But what they did was tie her up and put her in a closet, and then they searched the home and ransacked the place to steal things. These guys weren't coming to steal anything. They didn't tie her up or put her at somewhere where they can steal stuff or search. They never even looked to search for stuff. If somebody's searching for stuff, the first thing they do when they kick in the back door is they don't start throwing stuff down. They would start looking through things. When Miss Ethel was on the floor and she was, you know, begging for help or basically knocked out, he wasn't trying to rape her. He wasn't trying to tie her up. He wanted to beat her down and send a message. And so, in my opinion, I think this has to do with the white lady that came with the insurance and the eviction notice. And I think that this is all a plan to basically scare her out of her unit and to make her want to leave. And the irony is, it's probably not going to work, because Ronnie, although he copped the plea, once he finds out that his grandma was beat so brutally, he's going to change his mind. And they kind of gave a hint to that at the end of episode 1. And as soon as I saw that they beat her up, I knew when he found out he was going to change his mind. I mean, that was instant. And they already set it up because he met the white dude, Skokie, named after Skokie, Illinois, the suburb on the north side. But anyway, he's going to, because he said he had a lawyer that was going to help him get out. And since Ronnie looked out for him and helped him out, I'm sure he's going to find a way to get that lawyer to help Ronnie get off. And it's going to be little to no cost for Ronnie because he helped Skokie out. And that's how that's going to play out pretty much. And then Ronnie's going to get in back home with his grandma. Yeah, he's going to be harassed by Detective Cruz and all kind of different things because, you know, he flipped the script. And, you know, Lil Easy going to be upset, and everybody going to be upset about Coogie and Coogie's family because he changed his story. But according to IMDb, Coogie's mother, Sonia San, is not in the show this season. And also, neither is Meldrick, the guy that was part of the season 1 that Ronnie with the gun situation, and he sold the gun. So I don't see how that's going to play out. Besides, Ronnie confessed to it, so how could that end up falling back on him? If the person that supposedly confessed to the murder, he could say anything about the gun, but if the person is already locked up for confessing to the murder, that in a way would bring his charges down, if anything, because he didn't do the murder, and the person that did confess, even though Ronnie's going to probably flip the script, is still, I don't think, plus he has to get caught with the weapon. So who said he got caught with the weapon in the first place? Let alone, you know, that he had to flip or get charged or any of that. And like I said, he was a thug. He wasn't going to have no dude come to her house with no script about military veterans and this and that. That's somebody that's overthinking. He wouldn't be thinking that hard. And these people, I'm sure they did their homework and know that Ronnie was in the military and she would have a soft spot for Ronnie. And so I think that was their opening to get in the door without forced entry and do what they needed to do. Whereas if it was thugs, they wouldn't give a damn about whether it was forced entry signs or not. They would just go do what they need to do, leave. They would make sure it's no fingerprints, and they'd be out. So, in my opinion, I think that this is all an insurance, or I mean not insurance, real estate scam to get her out, get that property for the cheap, and move on and sell it and refurbish it and to hell with her. She can go live in that old folks home if she lives. If not, oh well, too bad. So I'm looking at your comments. I'm interested to see what you think. Let me know, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.